Hey Mad Scrappers, this is Myra, the Mad Scrapper. I am back with you now to share with you a video of a haul from Tuesday morning. It is Thursday. I was at Tuesday morning on Wednesday because Tuesday mornings all their shipments come, I believe, on Tuesday. They get it all on the floor on Wednesday. They say Wednesday is the day to come. So faithfully, I went on Wednesday. And I hit, as far as I am concerned, I hit the mother load for stuff. I mean, there was all kinds of coolness. And I don't even know where to start, but I'm a huge Crafters Companion fan, and they were clearing out a bunch of Crafters Companion. They got there, so I was super excited. So, I mean, for starters, I picked up a set of these, one or two. I just know I'm not going to show you all the colors I got, but I think I got a couple of these Spectrum watercolors. These are glittery watercolor pens. I've seen them demoed, and I actually saw these colors specifically demoed by Sarah. And I wanted to get them. So, I mean, Steve and I watched the same video, and he was like, "Aw." So, of course, we had to get him because it doesn't take much. He just has to egg me on just a tiny little bit, and that's all it takes for me to go down the rabbit hole. But I picked these up, and they are a watercolor pen, but they're glittered. So, and they're just so pretty. I saw it demoed, so I will be doing something with these. I know I will, but I wanted to share that. But 3 pens for $7.99 is a darn tootin' good price. I'm not sure if they're just getting rid of them. Probably they're discontinuing them because that's why Tuesday morning gets them. I don't care. I wanted them. Now I have them. Next is, if anybody watches, you know, for alcohol markers, I mean, the number one, hands down, best are Copics. But if Copics are out of your budget, your next best, in my opinion, are the Spectrum Noirs. And I picked up some from also at Tuesday morning, and these are the illustrators. They're the Spectrum Noirs that have both the artist tip. I'm gonna pull one out because this one I already fiddly fart with. I am not a great colorist by any stretch of the imagination, and I may be setting myself up to struggle a little bit more, but you got to start somewhere. And meanwhile, this is I mean, I got this whole set. All these are 1, 2, 3, 6 pens for $8.99. One Copic retail runs you almost that much. So I figure, what have I got to lose? I can learn with this and struggle, and maybe by the time I am able to start stocking up on Copics, I will be a much better colorist for it. Who knows? But it has 2 ends. It's got the little bullet, end for a small little detail work, and then what a lot of people like is again the brush tip end. So I got these because they were the skin tones, and like I said, I am not the world's greatest colorist, but this is a good, for a beginner, somebody with a limited budget, this is a good place to start and then go from there. But again, you can't beat the price. 6, they had several sets. Go check your local Tuesday morning because they are $8.99, I believe, and you can't beat the price. You really can't. And then I picked up other ones because then they had more in the color families. I got these also. And these are 4 for $7.99. So maybe I think it was $9.99. Let me take it back. These were $9.99. I misspoke. I apologize for that. And then these were $7.99. But again, I just wanted to pick up a selection so that I have a set of markers that I can use for coloring. I do not need to do works of art. I just need to do. And I can live with that. It don't have to be. I have friends like my friend Nikki, who is an amazing colorist. I hate her. I tell her that on a regular basis, but this is a place for me to start to make, to at least do some coloring. Another thing that just caught my eye, it was marker day for me that day at Tuesday morning, is I picked up their metallics. The Spectrum Noir metallics are awesome. I love them. Let me see. Let me grab a little piece of scrap paper. I really like, I have some already, but now I've picked up colors that I don't have. Because I got it in one of the card clubs of the month. So let me just use a piece of scrap paper from other cuttings. So let me pull one out. But it does do some really beautiful coloring. And I have them both because I have one of the card kits and because I have a black paper coloring book. So this will lend itself really well to the black paper coloring. But I saw this demoed on, in fact, it's in my kit, to do it with just on a stamp. But that is just some really pretty coloring, and hopefully, I'm hoping you can see the metallic look to it. It's kind of hard in this light. I don't know if you can see it, but but the color in and of itself is really, really, really pretty, and it paints down solidly. It just really, so it's got, again, the brush tip on one end, and then the more bullet nose, so you can just write out your name. So I can just write my name. There you go. And it really, so I, you know, again, for the price, can't much beat it. I think I went looking to see what it was retail, and it was, I think it was like $12 or $14. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But I felt for the price, it was a good place to start. So I wanted to get some of these, and I love the metallic. This one had the gold and the bronze and the copper and just really pretty colors. So I picked up, I think, 1 or 2 of these. I forget what the other colors were. I just have them stacked down here in the bag. I just didn't want to pull everything out. You guys don't need to say everything. I don't know if I want to confess to everything. It'll be video proof. Take these and set these aside. Then what I got, I picked up some more dies. That, you know, I scored there. And it's funny because, you know, you'll see in another video, depending on what order I load them, I got Sarah Davies' signature collection, and I said that there's a connection that lends itself to doing weddings. And here now I picked up a die for on your wedding, $3.99. How much cheaper can you get than that? That's just, yeah, no. And it's a nice size, and it's pretty. And again, it was $4. Where do we get dies for that kind of a price? So I thought, yay. That is mine. I now have something to add to the collection of sentiment dies I have. I then bought, okay, kids, I'm back. Being a person, I leave nothing to chance because I am not one of those, you know, amazing card makers, scrappers, you know, like Jennifer McGuire or Christina Warren. I have to work things out. So I I mocked one up. So this is the card that I'm going to show you how I made it. I did look a few little cheats just to make, so this video wouldn't go long. So, you know, rather than make a long video longer, let's just get to it. What I did is I cut already, I have my piece of cardstock, and this is just a 12 by 12, I cut in half. So the panel is 6 by 12. Then the die cut panel, which is this one here, I cut 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, so it's square. I will put all of these measurements down in the description below, so in case you ever want to do something like this, you know at least the measurements that I used. But I went ahead, rather than sit there and run that through part, because this is not really a big important thing, I already had and die cut this one for you, and all I did was I put, and it's this die cut. This is one of the die cuts I did. I bought it, that I got at Tuesday morning, is I just laid it down on each edge of the paper and just ran it through my Gemini. So I did one side and then the other side. Easy peasy. No big deal. And this thing, you know, the Gemini, it cuts amazing. It just popped right out. No having to fuss with the Chad. Most of it I was able to shake out. So we got that much done. What I figured you guys want to really see is how the decoupaging works. So let me sit down because I've been standing right now. So I'm going to sit down and let's do one of these together. Okay, so I've got this. I'm going to pull one of my toppers, and all we need to do really is line up the die. So I got to grab the die. I'll need the instructions. I already read them. They do come with instructions, so just you can see, they do have these little instructions right here. Or maybe I should do it that way, so it's upside down. So it tells you basically what to do. I read them for once. Amazing as that sounds. And I'm just going to grab some washi tape, and we'll just pop these off. And the thing is, one of the instructions tells you is each of these dies on this side, it has a little number. I don't think you guys can see it, but there's a little number here. These numbers correspond to the numbers of each of the layers. So that tells you you're supposed to literally take the tab with the number, I'll show you, and literally if you cover the number, line it up and cover the number, it pretty much puts the die right where you need it to be. And I was just doing it in the air, so I don't have to do anything with it other than put down a little piece of tape to keep it where it's supposed to be and not let it run away. And then we'll just go ahead and pull out the rest of the dies. And this one is number 2, correct? Where is the number 2? It is number 2. So we just lay that right down on number 2, do a little lining, but very easy. You know, all considering, this comes together pretty darn tootin' easy. I was kind of surprised because, you know, I'm special. So I think it just might be, you know, mad scrapper proof. Okay, so this is number 4. So number 4 goes right there. We just squooge it a little bit up. And take another piece of my little El Cheapo washi tape. Although it is cute. I almost feel guilty for using it, but really, this was, I mean, ridiculously cheap. I probably bought it, I think, in a clearance bin or something like that. Specifically for this purpose. Because it tacks just enough to hold it in place, but not so much to damage the paper. There we go. Did I move it? No, it looks good. I'll just tape that down. And then it's just this one. At this point, it's process of elimination by lining up. But look, I mean, in a couple of seconds, I got the, well, okay, maybe more than a couple of seconds, but in less than a minute, I've got this all lined up and ready to cut. I just want, see, now I know I wanted to lay down at least another, here, what I'll do is I'll lay down a bigger piece, and that will hold both of these in place. I'd rather over tape a little bit than run into trouble. Then have something move. That on a piece like this would be, you know, pretty catastrophic. That'd be a wasted piece of paper. Although at the end of the day, for what I paid for this, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's all right. Now I'm going to toss this into my Gemini. Put that on the cutting plate. So this goes straight on the cutting plate. Oops, nothing moved, right? Okay. And it's just about the size. Let me see if I turn it this way. There we go. Well, no, it's the same thing. It's just a little bit over the edge, but that's okay because there's space to spare. And then I'll just flip it over. As long as the cutting plates are face up, give me a second. We're going to run this puppy through. And I have the Gemini Junior, if I hadn't said it before. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oy, they're really cracking. No, they really cracked. Wow, my plate cracked. Wow, that's never happened. Interesting. But, and although we're going to hate life, one thing I realized is I want to run it through twice for extra texture. There we go. Except for the one that fell out that we didn't notice. Oh, well. Okay, so we're going to move my cracked plate. I guess that needs replacing. But see how already, just by looking at it, look how quickly these just come right out. Whoops. The intention is not to bend it. I will get these all out of the way. That one has a piece. There's my little flower. There is that. There is that. Did I get it? Everything's out already. See, it just falls out. It's one of the things I love about my Gemini. Okay, so now we have all of these pieces that need to be layered. So let me go back to myself. Now, one thing I want you guys to notice is this one. This has about 5 layers. I felt that 5 layers was way too high. I didn't like it. And I'll show you. Let me finish this card and I'll show you another one I did. That's when the realization says, okay, I don't like this look. So I'm only going to use part of the layers because what I did with the other part is I put it on the inside of the card with my sentiment. And I thought that was much better because we still have to mail this puppy as is. It's going to be oversized because it's a 6x6. So I didn't want to make matters worse by also making it really tall. So I just went ahead and just did some of the layers. So I'm going to take this bottom layer and then this piece right here. So that piece is going to go there. We're going to take our little, let's see, this little guy is going to go there. So we're just laying it out so we know where everything goes. This piece will go there. Our little handy dandy flower. So if I line these already up, kind of, there we go. See, if you line them all up, then it's just putting them down. And then this one goes on top of that one. So all we have to do is kind of jigsaw puzzle where these pieces go. I think it goes like this. Yes? No? Yes. Okay, so there. We got these. So we got these. And then these two, you know what? We're going to make it easy on ourselves. Let's do these two first. Because, you know, what the heck? I'm such a cheat. So we're just doing these two pieces. And also, you guys, I think if you've seen any of my other videos, have seen me use the Floral 3D glue as opposed to using foam. I use this. It's the Floral. I've already about halfway through this tube. And what I do is I put it in the little syringe. This time I overloaded the syringe, so I can't get the plunger all the way. You should only load it to about here. I was only half paying attention. I'm an idiot. So I overloaded it. So I'm going to have to push some of it out now in order to be able to get my plunger in correctly. So don't do that. Just saying. Don't do as I say, not as I do. Or you're going to struggle like I am now, because now I'm plunging this in a crooked manner. And oh, look, the husband person is home. Say hi, husband, everybody. Or everybody say hi to the husband. Husband, say hi to everybody. Ooh.
Hi.
Uh-oh. And see, this is what happens.
Are you on Zoom?
Yes. No.
Oh.
Give me a second. Now I have to see. This is why you don't overload your plunger. So let me clean that up. Because now I have much dimensionalness on this. But that's okay. So let me just now lay this right on top of the other piece, and we'll line this up. There we go. And there you go. No harm, no foul. Now give me a second because I'm going to fix the plunger. Okay, I'm back again. I just had to help darling husband in and keep a cat from running out, and the dog, we had to retrieve him, who did run out when we weren't paying attention. Oy. But anyway, quick say now. We're ready to layer these pieces. I didn't have much more luck at getting the plunger in right, so I have to struggle just a bit more. And then I'll be okay. Actually, I think it is in, so we're good. But all we're going to do is just put little squirts of the 3D. And I really like this stuff. It doesn't completely replace foam, but to a great extent, it does. I like the stability of it. It really dries firm, and it gives you the play time to lay something down that foam does not. Foam is very unforgiving. Once it's down, it's down. But this, and I could have put more on there and made it more dimensional, more higher, basically. Whoops, I forgot that one. Uh-oh, and it caught in the glue. There we go. But I didn't want to because, of course, we have to try eventually to mail this card. Or, I have to hand carry cards to everybody, forever and ever. Amen. But don't want to do that. I'm going to cheat here. I'm just going to put it right here as opposed to the little piece and then lay it down. And we'll see how well that goes. Let me see. There we go. And I touch it. And you can feel it. It's, it is firm. I don't know what this is. Is this really a glue, or it's silicone or what? But nevertheless, at the end of the day, I do like this stuff. Okay. Line it up right there. Lay it down. Yep. Okay, that's good. And then just our last little piece. Okay. There and there. Okay, let me find. Okay, that goes right here. Okay, excuse me. I'm going to lay it a little bit so I can see it, my angle. That's perfect. So there. That is good to go. But let me put my lid back on here. When you're using this glue, if you guys get this, and you can get this, and Craft Stash has it. Crafter's Companion carries it as well. But Craft Stash will be cheaper. So definitely I will link you below. I believe right now it's out of stock, but it comes in and out. It's well worth it. It comes with the syringe. It comes here. Because when I bought it, I stocked up. So I bought several tubes. So it comes in a box like this. Maybe not as mangled as that one is, but it comes in a box like this. So it comes, you see, it comes with a little pointy nozzle. I don't use it. I either use it straight out of the tube, or I put it in the syringe. But then it comes with a large tube. This is what it looks like full. And then there's a syringe, the little lid, and then the little thing to treat it like toothpaste. Basically, that's what it is. So I gave a one of these to a friend. I mailed it to him, and he was like, he thought if I had sent him toothpaste and was wondering what's wrong with Myra. Why is she mailing me toothpaste? But no, it's not toothpaste. It's the 3D glue. Okay, enough chatter. Let me grab now. We'll grab our card base. Let these settle down and dry for a little bit longer. And meanwhile, I decided to make this a tent card, but you can also make it a side card. It really doesn't matter. In fact, since I've already made a tent, this one's a tent, which is, you know, top folding. I think I'm going to make this side folding. I'm just wondering if it might not be. No, because I'll have this little piece to make it, to weigh it down. So what I need to do now is adhere this down, and I'm going to use this tape. Normally, I don't use this tape. This is my tape I buy strictly for making mini albums. What I have learned, and I had a dry spell of crafting because I got married and, you know, moved and life changed and blah, blah, blah. So I spent a year without really over a year, closing in on 2 without almost hardly any crafting. What I have learned is when you store your tape actually ages out. It kind of gets old. It loses its stick. So this stuff is comparable. I get this from Rubber Stamp Concepts. Is comparable to score tape. It is that strong, and you get more for less. The problem is, apparently, either one or two things have happened, and I'm undetermined. I'm going to give them one more try and buy another roll, and I will let you guys know how that goes. But either one or two things, either it's no longer as good as it used to be, or it just got old, and it doesn't stick because I am having to, on an album I just used it on, wow, I had to go back and reinforce and go in with red line tape on a bunch of places. And we all know how cheap that is. So I was not happy, but I was told by somebody else, like, oh yeah, tape gets old. So I'm like, oh, so I'm assuming that is the case. But if it's not, I will say that because otherwise I really do love this tape. Again, they're on the internet, Rubber Stamp Concepts. Really, really great tape. As long as it's still the same tape and it's not been changed. No, I'm not going to do that. Let me grab one of my bone folders. And I'm just going to burnish the tape in. But again, because this one is already not good enough for albums, I'm using it for card making. And I want this to stay stuck down good. So, okay, let me grab a handy dandy pokey tool. That little pop. And let me peel up. There we go. All my tape strips. Pick those up. Oh. There we go. One more. And what the heck? There we go. Okay. So now let me, for this, I really do have to stand up and stand over it so that I can center it because I do get one crack at this. I only, again, as you saw, I only taped down the center panel. I left the other parts loose because it kind of I just like the dimensional kind of look to it by leaving it loose like that. So, you know, you may do as you wish, and, you know, because you can tack it down in pieces. I didn't want to. This card is all about dimension. Now I'm ready to lay down my decoupaged parts, my two parts. No, wait, before I do that, let's stamp the sentiment. And the sentiment came out, I went back on this card, as you can, I think it's out of this one, correct? Yes. This, the sentiment wishing you much happiness today and always came out of Crafter's Companion Rose Garden. This is a new collection that I just bought off of HSN. I have not uploaded the video, but I will. I'll give you a whole review of all the stuff. It cost me a pretty penny, I won't lie to you. But I fell in love with it and had to have it. And then it got here. And I really, you know, I always like, yeah, you know, if I get buyer's remorse, I'll return it. Yeah, it's not happening. Thank God for FlexPay. But I did get it, but I used this stamp on this for this card. And there, you know, there's a few, but they're nice size. I mean, you could tell from the card, so they're nice size stamps. But I just grabbed this one. So let me take my handy dandy, not Misty. Oh, now I have to do it. Oh, go this way. And I do have the Misty. I use this one more because it's just kind of like, you know, I've treated it like my workhorse. And it's teal. Although I am going to buy I found it, the Misty now makes these tapes in teal. So guess who's getting the teal tapes, the measuring tape for Misty? Bo. And we have a certain dog who is suddenly rambunctious. Maybe I shouldn't put that upside down. What do you guys think? There we go. And not only that, but let's put it this way. I'm challenged today. Oh, good Lord. Oh, it's a special day. Okay, so no, center it a little bit this way. I hate eyeballing stuff. There's a part of me that desperately wants to break out a ruler, but let's not get crazy. It kind of is what it is. Okay. We'll just pick that up. We're not going to smash our flower. Let me grab my VersaFine, which is right behind me. There we go. Okay, I don't have to get crazy because if it doesn't stamp well the first time, it's okay. I get a second chance. That's the point of having this. And just in case, hang on. Because I took the ruler off my mat and I have all my magnets stuck to the ruler. There we go. Just in case. But let me stamp down. Use this. It's a little cheat because it makes it easier to run your hand over it and rub. Wow, pretty good. I think it still needs a second pass, but not bad. Okay, we'll do it one more time. There we go. Press. Ah, much better. Perfect. Beautiful. We're calling this good. You pick up. That's why I have the tabs. I have the tabs to make it easy to pull them out, unless you're uncoordinated like I am, and they stuck together. All right, there we go. We'll close that. Thank God for the black mat. We don't care. I'm gonna set this aside. I'll clean them. I'll clean that in a minute because we're almost done. This comes together really, really quickly. So now all I have to do is figure out my placement, which doesn't take a lot of, because it's kind of free forming, so there's almost no going wrong. You can practically do anything. But just take this stuff out of the way. So then it's all about now, and I'm going to do one more layer dimension. Again, that's also the other reason I decided not to, pull my chair up, and not to go the whole full 5 layers. I really felt, to me, it was overkill. And I'll show you the other card I did. What I did the full 5 layers just on pure principle. And it's still a pretty card, but I'm not feeling that high. If I do another one, I will do the same thing as this. Use part of it on the inside and part of it on the outside. So all I do is squirt, you know, here and there. I'm probably doing way more than I normally would. There we go. I don't know why I sit down, because I'm going to stand up again. And then we just lay this down. Plop. There. But see, it has that little added dimension because I popped it up a little bit. And then what I did with the other part, careful, is I believe, let me look, I'm positive, yeah, this I just applied glue. And we're just going to go in with my reptile glue, because it dries fast. And this is like, you know, I swear it's like the super glue of scrapping glues. Again, I think I talked about this in another video. I discovered this by watching somebody from the UK use it. Did a glue comparison. And this was one of the glues that she reviewed and just raved about it. And the interesting part is she raved about how much she loves it and how hard it is to get in the UK because it's based in the US. And I had never even heard about it, but I found it on Amazon and I bought it. Okay, there you go. So there you have it. Very quickly, we put together a really pretty card. And it didn't take me much more longer than the time that you saw me spending here, because this is not very, you know, I just had to cut the cardstock down and run this through. You know, that was a few minutes there. Now let me show you the other card I made. And where did I just do it? I just set it aside here. No, really, what did I do with it? Oh, goodness gracious. Ah, here it is. I'm hiding things from myself. So this is the other card I made. I made an alternate card. And as you can see, this is with the 5 layers. That's I'm telling you, the electronics here are possessed. But see, it's 5 layers. That is just, let me see, can you guys see that? I feel it's exaggeratedly tall. I mean, it's pretty, but you're going to get charged if you try to put this in the mail. As opposed to this one, if you can see the side, it's not as tall. So it's a little bit, I'm going to smush that down a little bit. There we go. Now that I see some of the dimension, I mean, I'm going to do some mushing. Okay, anyway. So it is pretty. I really like the card. So, and this piece is, let me see, because I take notes of everything I do so that I can, but I will also put these down in the underneath. This is 5 1/8 by 12 piece of paper. And then and it's folded, so I scored it, I believe. I didn't write down where I scored it, but it's scored to be a 5 by 7. It's basically meant to fit in a 5 by 7, an A7 envelope. It's a little bit smaller, so let me see. Let me tell you, because I didn't write it down, so let me tell you right now. It is scored at 6.5. So it's going to fold 6.5 to fit in the 5 by 7 envelope. It'll be 5 1/4 by 7 envelope, so your basic A7. I used to do the die cut here is another die from the set. I set that aside because I wanted to show you too. See, I have my mess now spread out all over the place here. Where'd I put it? I continue to hide things from myself. Hang on a second. Our die was hiding cleverly in plain sight. So this die is also from the Rose Garden collection. So it's the edgeable. Let me show it to you. So it's the edgeable die, and it comes with both corners. So you don't have to struggle doing one corner at a time. It gives you both corners. So I just used a piece of yellow, a butter, this really warm yellow cardstock. I did the edgeable, and that's what determined the width of the card, was I did it to the width of the edgeable. And then I just cut the 2 corners. I haven't even put a sentiment in it yet. Right now, my thought is I'm just going to leave it blank and see if, you know, what occasion comes up that I need it for. But it does fit in an A7. Excuse me. So there you have it. There are 2 cards I did with the floral spray toppers. You can find this at Tuesday Morning. You can. I looked. It's still available. Crafter's Companion has it right now. Has the whole collection. The toppers with the toppers with the die and the stamp, and they're having a big sale this week. It is not near as cheap as Tuesday Morning, but if you suddenly fall in love with it and you want it, that's where you're going to find it. I believe Craft Stash might have it also. I'm not sure, but do a Google search and you'll be able to find it. But that's all I have for you right now with this one. I'm going to try to work up a rose card, but if not, I'll do it in a separate video and link you guys back to this one. So I'm leaving you with this. Have a wonderful evening, guys, or day, whatever time it is, wherever you're watching this. If you like this video, please give me a like. And if you want to see future videos, subscribe and ding the bell. You'll know when I'm on next, okay? I'll see you guys later. Again, don't forget, scrap the madness. Bye!